Well now, in the course of time, in the evolution of Western thought, the ceramic image of the world ran into trouble and changed into what I call the fully automatic model or image of the world. In other words, Western science was based on the idea that there are laws of nature, and it got that idea from Judaism and Christianity and Islam. That, in other words, the potter, maker of the world, in the beginning of things, laid down the laws, and the law of God, which is also the law of nature, is called Logos. And in Christianity, the Logos is the second person of the Trinity, incarnate as Jesus Christ, who thereby is the perfect exemplar of the divine law. So we have tended to think of all natural phenomena as responding to laws, as if, in other words, the laws of the world were like the rails on which a streetcar or a tram or a train runs, and these things exist in a certain way, and all events respond to these laws. You know that limerick, there was a young man who said, "Damn, it suddenly seems that I am a creature that moves in determinate rules. I'm not even a bus, I'm a tram." So, here's this idea that there's a kind of a plan, and everything responds to obeys that plan. Well, in the 18th century, Western intellectuals began to suspect this idea. What they suspected is whether there is a lawmaker, whether there is an architect of the universe. And they found out, or they reasoned, that you don't have to suppose that there is. Why? Because the hypothesis of God does not help us to make any predictions. Nor does it, in other words, let's put it this way. If the business of science is to make predictions about what's going to happen, science is essentially prophecy. What's going to happen? By studying the behavior of the past, describing it carefully, we can make predictions about what's going to happen. That's really the whole science. And to do this, and to make successful predictions, you do not need God as a hypothesis. Because it makes no difference. If you say everything is controlled by God, everything is governed by God, that doesn't make any difference to your prediction of what's going to happen. So what they did was simply drop that hypothesis. But they kept the hypothesis of law. Because if you can predict, if you can study the past, describe how things have behaved, you've got some regularities in the behavior of the universe. You call that law. Although it may not be law in the ordinary sense of the word, it's a regularity. And so what they did was they got rid of the lawmaker and kept the law. So they conceived the universe in terms of a mechanism. Something, in other words, that is functioning according to regular, clock-like mechanical principles. Newton's whole image of the world is based on billiards. The atoms are billiard balls, and they bang each other around. And so your behavior, every individual therefore is defined as a very, very complex arrangement of billiard balls being banged around by everything else. So behind the fully automatic model of the universe is the notion that reality itself is, to use the favorite term of 19th century scientists, blind. In, say, the metaphysics of Ernst Haeckel and T.H. Huxley, the world is basically nothing but energy. Blind, unintelligent force. And likewise, in parallel to this, in the philosophy of Freud, the basic psychological energy is libido, which is blind lust. And it is only a fluke. It is only as a result of pure chances that, resulting from the exuberance of this energy, there are people with values, with reason, with languages, with culture, and with love. Just a fluke. Like, 1,000 monkeys typing 1,000 typewriters for a million years will eventually type the Encyclopedia Britannica. And of course, the moment they stop typing the Encyclopedia Britannica, they will relapse into nonsense. So in order that should not happen, because you and I are fruits of this nonsense, and we like our way of life, we like being human. If we want to keep it, say these people, we've got to fight nature, because it will turn us back into nonsense the moment we let it. So we've got to impose our will upon this world as if it was something completely alien from outside. So we get a culture based on the idea of war between man and nature. We talk about the conquest of space, the conquest of Everest, and the great symbols of our culture are the rocket and the bulldozer. The rocket